Hey guys, I'm back, and before I jump into this, let's get this motorcycle road ready. One of the last steps I had to work on this motorcycle is the 12-volt accessory circuit. Now, I bought these 5-pin nylite relays that I bought off Amazon to be able to hook up all the accessories I needed to get the motorcycle riding on the road. Even though these are interlocking relays, I taped them up just so I could have an easy way to move them around in the motorcycle to figure out the best place to install them. Now, I do have 5 relays, and one of them is for the horn, the second one is for the headlights, the third is for the brake lights, the fourth is for the left side turn signal, and the fifth relay is for the right side turn signal. I realized that these engine mounts weren't being useful at the moment, so I actually thought that this would probably be the best place to put the relays because there's plenty of space and the wires would protrude outward to spread across the entire motorcycle. So let's get to work. I connected all the relays together and decided to design and 3D print my own custom bracket that these will all be installed to. So I made some measurements between all the hole diameters to get a rough idea of where they should be located, and used this polycarbonate sheet on top to just have a nice support system for when they're mounted on top of the bracket. Now I wanted to make sure that when 3D printing this bracket that it would fit in between the engine mounts, and that way the relays can easily fit in between the tight space between the main battery pack and the 12-volt system. And putting everything in this tight space, it looked like it would fit, so I decided to print out a template to drill out the holes and start putting this assembly together. Now this relay assembly actually turned out better than I had thought. I ended up 3D printing washers just because I was using previous hardware when mounting the battery onto the battery plate, and the 2 square holes that I have on the side there, I ended up designing a recessed hole that would hold the 1/4-20 nut in place when tightening up the 1/4-20 screws on the either side of the engine mounts. These relay wires are way too long for what I need them for, so I'm going to cut them, crimp them, and install some automotive connectors onto them. I ended up buying this brake lever to engage with the high brake or low brake setup for my electric motor. I also bought this brake cabling so that I could install into this brake lever, but instead of the cable going to a physical lever system that would engage a disc brake, I just 3D printed a housing with a spring in it so that it could spring back when pressing the brake lever. I'm only using this to use as a high-low brake setup for the electric motor, which just disengages the motor from the motor controller. Now, after all that work, I realized that after installing this cable clamp into the brake lever, that after I pressed on the brake lever a little too hard, it just did not hold the cable at all. So I ended up redesigning it completely to be able to hold that spring in the 3D printed housing a lot better. Now that everything is wired up, let's test out all the lights. Since I removed the main headlight assembly on this particular motorcycle, that means I did not have any mirrors, so I had to buy some separately to install onto the brake levers of the motorcycle. Now for the outdoor test. All the relays are working as intended to, and now I can be on the road driving around. So if you guys like this type of content, please like and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.